I see this big clock right here.
Okay.
Very intimidating.
All right, so Senator Sanders, 1 minute.
I see that, believe me. All right. I am wearing this red tie proudly today because I am here to congratulate the NEA and teachers all over this country who have had the courage to march on their state capital to demand we change national priorities in this country, that instead of giving tax breaks to billionaires and subsidies to the fossil fuel industry, that we invest in the children of this country and in education. And I want to tell you that the courage of the teachers is reverberating all over this country. Working people from coast to coast are now demanding an economy that works for all of us, not just the 1%. Teachers, thank you very much.
He's showing me the numbers. He's going, did you see that?
Made it by 3 seconds.
So Senator Sanders is going for the extra credit. All right, so there we go. And we have teachers and support professionals, higher education, preschool, and public service folks in here. And so we are very interested in the question that came online. So let me read to you what Tom, a retired teacher from Nevada, asks. How do you plan to protect and defend Social Security and Medicare?
Okay. A number of years ago, there was an attempt by Republicans and some Democrats to cut Social Security. And at a time when we have 20% of our senior citizens trying to get by on less than $14,000 a year, when seniors are cutting their prescription drug pills in half, cutting Social Security did not seem like a particularly good idea to me. So what we did is we put together a caucus that I chaired called the Defending Social Security Caucus. And we said that we will not allow Social Security retirement age to be raised. We will not support a so-called chain CPI. That what we are about is not cutting Social Security, it is expanding Social Security benefits. And the legislation that I proposed was called scrapping the cap. Right now in America, if you make about $130,000 a year, you pay the same amount into Social Security as somebody who makes $30,000 a year. If you're a multi-millionaire, you're only paying Social Security taxes on the first $130,000. That seems to me to be absurd. So what our legislation does is lift that cap on people who make $250,000 or more, the top 1%. We bring in substantial sums of revenue, which does two things. It expands Social Security benefits for lower income seniors, and second of all, it extends the life of Social Security by about 50 years. Now, all of you know that for the last 45 years, there has been a war against the working class of this country. And at the same time, Republicans want to give tax breaks to billionaires. They are talking about cutting Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. We are going to stand up to that. And our view is, you're not going to cut Social Security, you're going to extend the life of it so that it will be strong and viable for our kids and our grandchildren. You're not going to cut Medicare, because we are going to fight for a Medicare for all single-payer program.
Our website, we invite folks to ask questions, and they can ask them by video. Our first member video question comes from Marielle E. in Hawaii.
My question for presidential candidates is, how are you going to increase salaries to make teaching more attractive so that we'll have less teacher shortage nationwide? Thank you so much. Mahalo.
Well, let me thank Mary for that very important question. And the truth is, the answer goes beyond teacher salaries, which I'll talk about in a moment. The answer has everything to do with changing national priorities. The answer has everything to do with changing the culture of America so that we recognize that there is nothing more important than education in America. And if we appreciate that education and learning is all about what human life has to do with, all of us should be learning from the day we're born to the day we die. And of course, in America, the wealthiest country in the history of the world, it must go without saying, we are going to have the best public schools in the entire world. And that means that it goes without saying that we are going to have teachers who receive the respect and the remuneration that they deserve for doing some of the most important work in America. And it means that when we talk about teachers in the year 2019, the proposal that I have brought forth, comprehensive proposal on education, says that every teacher in America should earn at least $60,000 a year. It also, another proposal that we have brought forth, which impacts 45 million Americans, including many teachers, is that it is absurd to have so many of our people struggling with oppressive levels of student debt. We have got to cancel student debt in America. Now, I've been criticized for this proposal. I'm criticized for every proposal, because I try to stand up for working families in this country and not the billionaire class. But on this proposal, if we could bail out the crooks on Wall Street to the tune of trillions of dollars, we surely can cancel student debt in America.
Linda, a teacher in Alabama. How will you strengthen our country's public schools and educate our citizens about why privatization and charter schools are not good for our children?
Well, for a full answer to that question, please go to my website. And if you do, this is what you will find. Our proposal, called the Thurgood Marshall Educational Plan, we end federal funding completely for for-profit charter schools. taxpayer money should be going to educate our kids, not to make Wall Street investors even richer than they are. And our proposal puts a moratorium on all new charter schools until we have a full understanding of their impact on public education. And our proposal not only triples funding for Title I, our proposal not only moves aggressively to make smaller the classroom sizes that you have got to teach, our legislation in another area raises the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour, so everybody in the school is paid at least a living wage. Our proposal moves aggressively to end the increased segregation that we're seeing in schools all over this country. Our proposal understands that real education doesn't just end at the end of the school day. We need to significantly increase funding for after-school programs. We need to make sure that in our country, when kids leave school at the end of the school year, they retain what they have learned into the fall, which is why we need strong summer programs of education and recreation for the kids. And our proposal also understands that it's not just education. It's we have got to end the disgrace of having the highest rate of childhood poverty of any major country on earth.
To make an opening statement to this amazing group.
Good. So first let me say, hello NEA, hello teachers, librarians, cafeteria workers, bus drivers, everybody who takes care of our children every day. My name is Elizabeth Ward, and I've known what I wanted to do since I was in second grade, and I've never wavered from it. I want to be a public school teacher. I used to line my dollies up and teach them. I want you all to know I was tough but fair. But by the time I graduated from high school, we didn't have money for a college application, much less to send me off to college. But it was the University of Houston, $50 a semester, a commuter college. That was my chance. Became a special needs teacher. I have lived my dream. I just want to say one thing. Lily?
No.
Okay.
No.
I understand.
Nice try. We have allowed thousands and thousands of people have gone up to our strongpublicschools.org website. Yes, they've uploaded videos of themselves asking all of you questions. Good. You're going to hear one of them now. It's from Sarah, an education support professional in Kentucky.
Okay.
What can you do for the United States to ensure that all children are entitled to a fully funded public education, a quality education for all?
I got a plan for that. Because I believe that if you want to get something done, You really do need a plan for that. So let me just give you some pieces of it. It starts with a wealth tax. That's a 2-cent tax on the top 1/10 of 1% of the great fortunes in this country. People who have more than $50 million in wealth, we say first 50 million, that's cool. But your 50 million and first dollar, pitch in 2 cents. And 2 cents for every dollar after that. Here's what we can do with 2 cents. We can provide universal child care for every baby in this country aged 0 to 5. Universal pre-K for every 3-year-old and 4-year-old in this country. Raise the wages of every preschool teacher and every child care worker to the professional levels they deserve. Invest in our infrastructure so we have good, clean schools, state-of-the-art, for all of our kids. Universal, tuition-free, technical school, community college, and four-year college for everybody who wants to get an education. And there's more. In that same 2 cents, we can make all of these investments, plus we can cancel student loan debt for 95% of the people who have student loan debt. For me, this is about our values. This is about what we respect as a country. Are we a country that just wants to keep working better and better and better for a thinner and thinner slice at the top? A country that says that top 1/10 of 1%, 75,000 families, they got to keep it all. Or a country that says, you make it big, good for you, that's great, we celebrate it. But pitch in 2 cents so every one of our kids has a chance to make it big. Nothing in this country more important than the education of our children. And I'll tell you this about public school teachers. We recognize the worth of every human being. We invest in the future, and we never give up.
A couple of people wrote in their questions. They were shy, they didn't want to do a video.
Okay.
Judy is a retired teacher from Washington.
Hi, Judy.
And she would like to know, what would you as president do to put an end to high-stakes testing so that our students and teachers have a fulfilling and dynamic educational experience?
So let me start with a commitment that I have already made publicly, in fact, long before I got to this stage today. I will name someone to be Secretary of Education who has been a public school teacher. Because here's how I see it. I want someone in Washington who every time they think about standards and who's meeting what and writing all the regulations is someone who's actually seen a child light up, is someone who's actually seen someone engage and suddenly lift their head, knowing something they hadn't known before, someone who's seen a door open. That's who I want for Secretary of Education. Betsy DeVos need not apply. And it is, as I said, it's about our values. You know, I was a special needs teacher. Special needs teachers understand this notion that it's all about testing, that it's all about what somebody far off in the state capital or far off in the national capital says, here's what constitutes success, and worse yet, here's what constitutes failure. No, that's not what education is about. Education is what goes on in the classroom, what a teacher has set as the goal, and when a kid gets there, it is a teacher who knows that we do not need high-stakes testing. I think this goes to the fundamental question of respect for our teachers. Too many folks seem to have gotten the idea that teaching is kind of like, working on an assembly line, and we'll just test your widgets to see if they're coming out all right. And if they are, you must be a good teacher. And if they don't meet the standards set somewhere else, you must not be. No, that is not what teaching is all about. Teaching is about bringing out the best in our children. It's about opening doors for our children. It's about listening to our children. It's about responding to our children. It's about making the most of every minute we spend with our children. That's not about testing. It's about the educational experience, and we need our teachers to be front and center.
Your last question is from Brooke, an elementary school teacher in Nebraska. When and how will you as a leader make it possible for teachers to earn enough to support themselves on a teaching salary alone?
So, this is at the heart of it. This is partly about money. But again, it's about respect. It's about recognizing every day the worth of what our teachers do. Here's the best place we can start to raise teacher pay and get more resources into our public schools, and that is strengthen our teachers' unions. Make when they come into negotiating. Because every teacher understands this. It's what we do individually, one child at a time, but it's also what we do together. That is our strength. We live in America where democracy is under assault. Time after time after time, decisions made in Washington work great for the rich and the powerful. They get the tax breaks they want. They get the benefits they want. They get the exceptions they want. But for the rest of America, it's just not working. We have a chance to turn that around. And that starts with our teachers. Our teachers showed us last year when they went on the front lines in West Virginia. California and Arizona and Oklahoma, and Georgia and South Carolina, when they went out on the front lines. It was a lesson not only in what teachers need to be able to survive, it was a lesson in democracy. We asked America, state by state, when teachers stood up, what kind of a country do you want to have? Do you want to have a country that just works better and better for a thinner and thinner slice at the top? Or do you want to have a country that works for all our kids? Well, teachers are on the front lines fighting for all of our kids. To get more money into public education because I believe in public education. But I understand this is about so much more than money. This is about how we build a country going forward. This is about the value of every single one of our children. And this is about teachers who are the lead